Good morning, good evening, good all the things. Hi, how are you? I am Katie Brannon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Katie. So if it's your first time here, welcome, True Crime Kitty Cat. I'm Katie, and I say and talk about nothing but true crime. If that is your kind of fascination, definitely hit the like, subscribe, and click the bell on the notifications button. So tonight's case is brutal, to say the least, and it actually hit really, really close to home. We're going to be talking about a serial killer / serial hard R word, yes, trigger warning in this podcast. Before we get into this video, I want to do a shout out to, as I hit the mic, wearlight.com. So I get messages and stuff on my TikTok and stuff like, where do you get your glasses? Because if you haven't noticed, I have a lot of pairs of glasses. And you're probably thinking, well, were they crazy expensive? Like, what do you do? No, they're not. They're like $20. And you pay for the frames, and sometimes they're cheaper, like $5. And you're just paying for your prescription. Yes, these are prescription. But I want to mention Wear Light because no one really mentions them. I started with zennyoptical.com. They are really good, but they are on the pricey side, but they are like legit though. You won't pay more than $260 for sunglasses, you know? I know. I remember when I used to pay like $400 for my glasses. Nope, not no more. Now the most I pay for a pair of glasses is like as much as takeout, which I don't even do that much anymore because, you know, the world is kind of burning and everything. But yeah, definitely check out Wear Light. You know, like I'll have the link in the description below. They have some really cool sales all the time, and I love them. I think they're really cute and affordable. And if you want to look fashionable on a budget, definitely check out wearlight.com. You're welcome. All right, you guys, so that definitely going to change the energy a little bit because this is really, really sad. I'm going to be talking about the back to school killer from Charlottesville, Virginia. But actually, in my notes, there is a whole page, which I'm going to list at the end of this podcast, of all the crimes what this monster may be connected to. Yeah, and I'm not just talking about like you're trying to bring a good man down. No, not at all. DNA got him. You got surveillance footage. I mean, he's like dead to rights. Like we got him. But this guy has been haunting Virginia for a long time, and we just recently, a few years ago, just got him. So again, there is trigger warning, but I'm going to be talking about the two main girls that were sadly pretty much just hurt real bad, guys. They were hurt real bad, and they're not here to tell their story. So I'm going to do the best I can to talk about Hannah Elizabeth Graham and Morgan Dana Harrington. All right, you guys, so grab a comfort item. I have my Build-A-Bear, Sally Bear, from Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm just going to give her a nice squeeze. Make sure you grab a snack, a comfort item, maybe a fuzzy blanket. And we're going to talk about these two girls that were just taken way too soon. And yeah, like I said, again, trigger warning. I'm going to describe this as respectful as possible. I don't want to leave anything out because, you know, they deserve to have their story told and not censored. So if this is sensitive matters, please click off this podcast. But as for my true crime kitty cats, here we go. All right, the first lost soul we're going to talk about is Morgan Dana Harrington. She was born July 24th, 1989, and yes, that makes her a Leo. Now, when I've heard about this case, everyone knows about Hannah Elizabeth Graham because she was the latest. She was the 2014. But I'm going to be talking about the early 2000s, October 2009. Now, when I was searching this case, just let you know that there are candles lit behind me. There are very, very strong crystals in here. So this is nothing but positive energy. But out of the two women, the woman that really came to me and I felt her soul was Morgan. And I think because we're close in age, and not just that, but during the time she was missing, that was my time, my concert time, because this poor girl was only 20 years old when she passed. And I know it's insane. I was like, she went to the John Paul Jones Arena, and during that time, you guys, there was a Metallica concert. Yeah, pretty dope tasted music. So she was like a concert girl. And basically, she was so excited about this concert, you guys. She was looking so fly, okay? She had black knee-high boots. She had fishnet stockings. But she had leggings. There's a couple stories about what she wore, but the main thing that is well known is her Pantera custom made t-shirt, and she actually wore that to the concert. Now, I don't know if it's 1 hour or 2 hours away from Virginia Tech, because she was a Virginia Tech student. Now, this is Saturday, and she's with friends, and it's her car, but she's not driving because she is not going to be the DD for the evening, which is designated driver. So, before I go any further, excuse me, I know the friends feel like crap about everything, and I don't want to blame them, but I mean, you don't leave your friend. You just don't. So sadly, but okay, to be fair, we really don't know. It could have been Morgan telling her friends oh no, go on without me. I'll find another way home, which I think that's poppycock, because I'm it's her car. I don't understand. So, all right, I'm stalling. Okay, so what happened is that Morgan is at this concert, and she said, I got to go to the restroom real quick. All right, yeah, nature calls, got it. Her friends are, I'm not sure if they're sitting, but they're definitely enjoying the concert at the time. They're checking their phones because Morgan has not texted back yet. But so they're oh, okay, well, where are you? You went to the bathroom and now you're not here. We do not know why she went outside. I'm guessing maybe to catch a smoke. But in that arena, if you go outside, you can't go back in. Yeah, I know. Ugh. So we do not know what happened between the friends, but we do know is that she ended up alone. Yeah. And Morgan at this time is very intoxicated. She was drinking on the way to the concert. She was, underage kind of drinking there, just having a really great time at it, And they called her and she goes, I can't get back in. They won't let me back in the venue. Now, what they should have done, which, not trying to put myself here, but I just want it to be more relatable. When you're at a concert and you are drunk or you are impaired in some kind of way, you are with your friend. You do not leave your intoxicated friend alone. I don't care if they're no, I'm fine, go on ahead, I'm good. Because I'll tell you this, I have never left a friend alone. I was that annoying friend that was no, I'm not leaving you. Nope, I'm staying right here. And yes, there's frustrations because back then there were hot dudes and they were like, oh my gosh, you're just, cock blocking and all that. And I'm like, no, I guess I am, but we don't know this person and God knows what could happen to you. Yeah, I think that's why the story hits so home, because during this time, you guys, I was like that. I was going to concert after concert. I don't really drink or smoke, but back then I may have been a little reckless. But we always had like a DD, and then we hung out together and stuff. But, we never left each other alone, And I remember dating my rocker boyfriend at the time that he was really worried about us girls. He was like, there is some kind of sicko out here in Virginia and they haven't caught him yet. And we're like, what? And this is like before poor Morgan. Like, it's weird how travel, news traveled fast. But he was right. There really was like a predator in the community of like Charlottesville, in Virginia. He was even like in Newport News. I know, it's scary. So Morgan is outside and, we don't know if she want to get a smoke or what have you. So her friends are calling, where are you? And she's like, they won't let me back in. It's okay. She said, I'll go hitchhike. I'm guessing she was being sarcastic, honestly. But Morgan, she actually took a spill in the venue and like hit her head. So not only she's extremely intoxicated, she also like hit her head. So again, friends, 0. Sorry. Like, one of you guys should have just went to the security guard and be like, hey, my friend is outside, we need to get her in, like, here's her ticket, but no, she disappeared. She was gone. The friends actually even took her car. Now, I'm not sure if it's like an hour or 2 hours away, but it's not even their vehicle. And they drive all the way back to campus. And when they realize she's not back at campus, that's when they start to worry. And yes, they had every right to. And it was really sad because the investigation started like right away. Her purse was found shortly after, which is a really horrible sign, because after they found the purse, which has her, license, her credit cards, I mean, you could think like, oh, she got lost, But then when they found her phone with her SIM card missing, yeah, that was when like reality got real. It was really, yeah, it's sad. It took about 3 to 4 months to find Morgan's remains. And it was basically like on a rural farmland. And this guy, this farmer, I don't even know if he's a farmer. He's just a dude who owns a lot of rural land. 700 acres. So yeah, that's why he didn't find the body very quickly. Now, I'm going to talk about what happened to poor Morgan. Today's tea, I got this awesome little mug. It says, enjoy joy, find joy in the ordinary. And it is so cute. This is so hot. It actually is on the same color warmer. This was a gift from my partner for Christmas. It has a little Paul spoon. It is just so cute. A little kitty cat. And it has like, so I don't burn myself, let me show you guys. If you're watching, it has a little kitty cat on the front. Total cute. But this thing is so hot. Maybe I need to turn the warmer off. Wow, this thing is like really hot. We're just going to put it back on the warmer. But yeah, that's my tea. But that is very sweet and clever. My partner always gets me gifts, practical gifts that I will definitely use. It's pretty awesome. So that's my tea today. Okay. When Morgan was found, she was found with a fracture in her upper left arm. She actually had a fracture in her skull, and she was brutally like raped. Just brutal. I mean, the bastard even broke her bones to have sex with her. Yeah, that was very uncomfortable to read how she died, and it was by violent homicide, which means while her bones were being broken and he was violating her, and she died very soon after. Now, they do not know if she died of like in shock or they think it's like strangulation. I will get to the guy. But I'm talking about the main people that were just. And I've listened to other podcasts too that blamed Morgan and also blamed Hannah, like, you shouldn't have got intoxicated and wandered by yourself. And I was like, well, I'm thinking you should have never left her alone if you have friends. Like, that's not a friend. And yes, they may have said, hey, come with me. Oh, and they may have been like, oh no, I'm good. You guys have fun. No, you never leave your friend's side. Ever. Especially if they're like impaired in some kind of way. Yeah, Morgan's demise was brutal. Even I forget the guy. Sorry, rockers. James Hetfield, the lead singer of Metallica. They actually, like, after like the concert, like the next day, they like did a video and stuff and like a little press conference and said, go find Morgan. Where is Morgan? She's like one of our own. But yeah. So 5 years later, almost 5 years later, same situation happened. Hannah Elizabeth Graham was born February 25th, 1996. Makes her a Pisces. She was born in Great Britain and she came to America at only 3 years old. She was a UVA college student, very optimistic, talented, just very smiley, the same as Morgan. So Hannah, she goes missing in like September 2014. And when you hear these dates, you kind of do think back to school. And that's why this monster is called the back to school killer. Now, kind of the same situation. Hannah is in Charlottesville. And Charlottesville is a beautiful campus, a beautiful area. And it's not that big. But there is like a downtown area. And thank goodness there was surveillance. Because when Hannah was hanging out with her friends, they kind of went bar hopping in a way. But then Hannah was like, hey, we don't know if she didn't feel good, but she wanted to head back home. Now, again, I don't know if her friends really thought she was that intoxicated, because when you see her GPS, like the phone reports, she is walking like back and forth and like turning around. Somebody who could be like mentally impaired because of alcohol, or somebody who was just lost. I mean, this is like, she's in college. Maybe she switched a dorm room, and she's kind of lost. So she just starts going home. She starts to wonder a little bit by herself. And, she was thinking that she was going to be okay. Now, all this is on surveillance, and it is so haunting because there is a picture of the perpetrator, like a video. You can see Hannah walking a little bit, and then she passes this guy. And then it's weird. He like looks at her, And then all of a sudden he like just, I guess it registered how she was, like, in terms of being impaired or, just not functioning correctly. Yeah, I know. So what he does, as soon as he sees her, you can see it on the tape, it's like creepy. They walk past each other, and then what they do is he looks at her, and then he quickly turns back around and starts to follow her. Yeah. And the last thing that she said was, "No, I'm not going into the car with you," like really out loud. And this monster had been kind of prowling the streets, especially that night. He was basically hitting on women. One he actually like picked up, and you're going to be like, whoa, what? I know, I'm going to talk about him in a moment. There's too many people out there that really feel sorry for him because of his childhood, but I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for abusers who have been abused themselves, because just because horrible things happen to you that you couldn't help, it doesn't mean that you could just hurt others because of what happened to you. Like when you were younger, you didn't have a choice, but this time you have a choice, and you chose violence. Yeah, I'm just saying. So the surveillance is Hannah is walking around, and you hear her say, "No, I'm not going in the car with you." But yes, that evening, he's hitting on all the ladies, pinching their butts, and these women, they ain't having it. They're like, get lost, leave me alone. And he's not, taking it. But he went to like 3 bars that night. I know. And then it was just horrible timing, because the text messages that she was texting her friends, her texts have been getting more and more like illegible. Like you couldn't even understand what she was saying. The last one said like "got stuck dough," and I'm thinking it is "got stuck downtown." It could be. Now that was at 1 a.m. the last text. And the last thing that this monster did was sign a receipt leaving the bar at 1:03 a.m. So the timing was just horribly perfect. I don't even want to say perfect. That is so gross. Convenience. Okay. So Hannah, her body was discovered 5 weeks later. And it was discovered on abandoned property. Like, it was actually like really close to Morgan's body. Like a few miles away or something, but definitely in like a desolated area. Now, again, when she went missing, the friends realized they couldn't get a hold of her, so they called her parents. And they're in England. And of course, it's no laughing matter at all. The police get involved, and I have to hand it to Charlotte, Virginia. They were on it. Like, they were on this investigation. They did everything they could. How they got the perpetrator, though, was that there were witnesses. There were witnesses with him and Hannah together. And there was a composite sketch. And man, as soon as that composite sketch hit the TV, wow, there were so many tips and so many leads, and they got him. And this guy, his name was Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr., also known as LJ. He was born December 14th, 1981, Sagittarius. He was 6'2" and 270 pounds. Yeah, this was a big dude. So, as I said, he was like carrying women and just being, yeah. So, Jesse does have a really sad backstory. I'm not going to deny that. An ex of his came out and said that he was actually sexually assaulted many times in elementary school by multiple people. which is very awful. I mean, I can't, I don't even want, there are no words, you know, no children should ever be touched, or if you don't ever want to be touched, no one has any right to touch you, you know, you keep your hands to yourself, you know. So now Jaytee actually was pretty smart, and he actually had friends. He had friends. He was very loved by his family, and he was an athlete. He actually got a full scholarship to Liberty University to play football. Yeah, but his the D word, yeah, the opposite, you know, the same spelling as semen, but put a D in the beginning. I don't say that word here. I feel like it invites evil in, and we're just having a crime talk, so we don't want any evil, bad vibes in this. I don't know if you do, but I don't. And I don't want to give you any bad vibes, so I don't say the word. But you guys know. So he had everything going for him, but he just had this, I don't want to say like hunger, but he got kicked out. He actually, like, they didn't say he got kicked out, but he left school because of allegations. I know. Yeah. One woman, she didn't want to be named, but beautiful girl. She was brutally, I believe it was in 2005. Yeah. He actually just raped her brutally. And she survived, actually, I thought, because she did what he told her to do. Because he said, you know, do whatever I tell you to do. And then she was so afraid that, you know, she did it. But I found out that they were interrupted. I know. Yeah. I know. Chills. Like, he was doing that to her, and they got interrupted, and he escaped. And sadly, she left America and went back to India because the rape was so brutal. So yeah, this guy is not nice. This guy is a pig. So Hannah, you know, when we found her body, she died of homicidal violence. Yeah, just like Morgan. Hers, though, she had 2 nasal fractures, and they think she died of suffocation/strangulation. So, yeah, this guy just had to punch and break, and even if you said no and fought, he'd hurt you more. It's so sad, you guys. So, Hannah's family, that's from England, that was their only daughter. That was their only child. And it was really, really sad. It took everyone by storm. They couldn't even believe it. Really sad. So, but again, amazing how the community came together, got the composite sketch, and was like, I know that guy. I know that guy. He was hitting on all these women, you know? So, you know, it was kind of like a citizen thing. They called in the police. They like, hey, I know him. So they went to go get him. They went to go get his vehicle. And then when they were doing like background checks and everything, they found out he was like driving a taxi during Morgan's disappearance. So I know, right, ladies? A taxi driver, like really being a creep, like a real creep. That's scary. So they go over to Jesse's, and he opens the door, and they want to talk to him. And he's like, oh, hold on, I gotta change my socks or something like that, which is weird. Why wear different socks when you're getting interrogated? So the police found all this evidence and even surveillance footage, and they said, hey, do you know where Hannah Graham is? Like, this is way before they found their body. You know, this is like before they found her body, sadly. And they're just like racing to the clock to find her. And of course, Jesse is denying everything. And he's like, hey, can I go get my passport out of my car? Because they were telling him that we're going to impound your vehicle because your vehicle was an orange Sebring and it needed to be taken in for evidence. So, of course, the police are thinking like, no, you cannot go to your car to get your passport. This guy's going to flee, you know? So what ended up happening was that they took him into interrogation. They were building a case on him, and he immediately was like, am I arrested? And they're like, well, no. And then he was like, all right. And he walks out. So what he does now is borrow his sister's car and escapes. And he flees Virginia. Yeah, I know. And, yep, he takes his sister's car, flees to Virginia, goes all the way down to Galveston, Texas. And he's like in this tent on the beach. Now, I don't want any jokes. In fact, I want hopefully this name to be like any other name. Like Katie, like Amanda, like Amy, like just a name. So this lady, she was walking her dogs on the beach, and she thought she recognized Jesse Leroy. And she looked at him, and he looked at her, and it just creeped her. She said she was just so creeped out. And her name was Karen. Now, Karen actually called Crime Stoppers. And not once, not twice, but a few times. They would not believe that, which is like, makes me mad. I was like, what? She literally says, I really think this is the guy. This is the guy that everyone's looking for. I mean, his picture was like everywhere during this time. And then, like I said, Crime Stoppers, it just fell on deaf ears. Yeah, they didn't help her. So Karen kind of gave up, and she called the Galveston police, and they actually went, and they were not like Crime Stoppers. They actually went to the beach and saw him, and he gave a fake name and stuff like that. But they knew they got him. They knew they got him. Before Hannah's body was found, this is heartbreaking, Jesse actually confesses to both murders, and yeah, he does. Plus, it doesn't help that his DNA is on both bodies. His DNA is actually everywhere, and I will get to that real soon. So he actually told the family, I will do a plea bargain for 25 years, and I'll tell you where your daughter's body is. Now, this family, they were so devastated, you guys. They want their daughter. They want to know where she's at. But they didn't jump the gun. They did not. They actually let me sleep on it. Let me sleep on it and I'll get back to you. And thank goodness they didn't, because they found her body. So he got 4 life consecutives sentences. 4 because of not only the brutal rape and murder, but also just the, how hardcore the crime was. So unnecessary, painful. It is nightmare fuel, straight up like a horror movie. And it is sad that, Jesse's mom, you can hear her screaming at the end in the court, begging for her baby to stay alive and stuff like that. Because in the beginning he was on the death penalty. Not anymore. So you could say karma or justice, because just a few years later, Jesse was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Yeah, ow. Yep. Now, I believe it was the mother of Morgan. Yes, Mrs. Harrington. She found out about this diagnoses, and she basically just didn't give a fuck. I mean, honestly, she didn't. she didn't say those words, but she really did not care at all about the health of Jesse, and she just doesn't care. And what's insane, you guys, is that was in like 2020 and it's going to be 2024, and I've tried to look up if Jesse passed away, and there is no public record of him passing away. So I mean, hopefully he's still suffering, because colon cancer is extremely painful, and if he's had stage 4 for 3 years, like I said, I don't wish ill on anyone else. I do not. But I mean, the universe, you guys. Like, you don't mess with the universe. Right? I couldn't believe it. But yeah, man. Hannah's mom was just like, I don't care. I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want any updates. And there is none, actually. The last one I saw was 2022. And that was it. And I'm like, wow, it's about to be 2024. Is he still suffering for stage 4 colon cancer? I don't know. Now, incidents Jesse Matthew Jr. has been connected to October 17th, 2002, alleged sexual assault at Liberty University. September 7th, 2003, a reported Christopher Newport University assault. September 24th, 2005, a Northern Virginia rape. October 17, 2009, Morgan Harrington. September 13th, 2014, Hannah Graham. Cases investigated by law enforcement for possible connection to Matthew. July 24th, 2003, Autumn Day in Newport News. It said assault. I don't know if that's assault or rape, but it just said Autumn Day in Newport News. September 7th, 2003, Sophia Rivera in Newport News. August 26, 2009, Heidi Childs and David Metzler in Blacksburg, Virginia. October 10th, 2009, Cassandra Morton, which was, not far from Lynchburg. September 13th, 2010, Samantha Clark in Orange County. Yeah, this guy, he was busy. And there was a short lull between his attacks, and someone like that, like the investigators say, they don't take a break. So people think there's more bodies out there. I want to know what you guys think. It's rough. I definitely drank too much coffee, but we're just going to have some caffeine tea. Oh my gosh, that's Cherry Blossom. Oh, he is the best. Thank you, baby. So again, do you think there are more people? Now, one thing I have to say is Hannah's family, they say like she's a I don't want to say hero, but it's the girl version of hero, a heroine, because she got the monster off the streets. But like the father said, she had to pay a terrible price. But it stopped all the attacks that have been happening in Virginia for a long time. So, Hannah, Morgan, I am so sorry what happened to you. I can't imagine. Man, I thought I wasn't going to break down, you guys. I just can't imagine the fear. They must have been so scared. And as you can see, how he met these ladies was he was a taxi driver, or he was just someone on foot that was just looking at someone. And it was Morgan's Pantera t-shirt. It was just found in the bushes. Now, the investigators didn't know if someone picked up the shirt and laid it plainly on a bush, in case someone lost it, like, here it is. They don't really think that LJ did anything with the case. We're not even going to say his nickname. He doesn't even deserve that. Jesse, yeah. Already forgot about him. Monster. That Jesse placed the shirt there. No. Or maybe, the case got cold and he had the shirt and he put the shirt there to keep the case alive. I don't agree with that. But these women suffered and they were at the prime age of concerts. Hannah was just having fun, eating food, drank a little too much, and yeah, she's a little underage, but again, you have friends, you guys. Please do not let friends leave you alone. I don't care if you're like, I'm fine, I'm good, you guys go ahead. No. I'm going to follow your ass to the bathroom. Sorry, I know that sounds creepy, but that's why girls go to the bathroom together, not in the stall, weirdos. We just hang out by the sink and talk to each other. Yeah, or talk to each other between the stalls. Who cares? No judgment. Yeah, this is... I found a lot of information on True Crime Garage podcast. They're dudes that drink beer and talk about true crime, and they get very, very detailed, and I really appreciate the research. And also Beyond Evil is the YouTube channel that totally just, it hit me. It was weird. I was just scrolling, and it was Morgan. Morgan came to me and was like, you tell my fucking story. I'm like, yes, Leo Queen, I will. But yeah, guys, whoo, killer is off the streets. That's been haunting Newport News. And I used to live in Newport News. I used to live so many places in Virginia, and I'm not saying where I live now because I might have stalkers. But it's really nice to know that you have a monster off the streets. So thank you so much for watching. Again, please let me know what you think. I do feel like in my heart there would have been way more lost souls. And yeah, please know that you are loved, you are cherished, and remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye. Sorry, before I go, I know I psyched you out a lot. There is definitely some nonprofit organizations that Ms. Harrington has started, and she's also to help different kind of schools, school in Africa, helping with people's education. In fact, in 2018, Ralph Northam, yeah, he's the governor at the time, and I want to know what you guys think about this. So the reason why we didn't catch him was because he wasn't in CODIS. It's really confusing to understand. He was in CODIS, but not his DNA. I know, it's weird. I didn't understand that either. But basically, if you are not a felon and you just have a misdemeanor, you don't get DNA. Well, the governor changed it in Virginia that even if you get a misdemeanor, that they still take your DNA and fingerprints and all that, and you're going to be in CODIS. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, don't break the law. I mean, that's I think of Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. Stop breaking the law, asshole. Like that. People think it's extreme invasion of privacy, which, yeah, but don't break the law, Also, if okay, the parents believe that if the DNA was taken from just his trespassing misdemeanor or just being in the system at all, doesn't matter how small the charge is, that their lives could have been saved. I mean, you gotta hand it to him. I mean, yeah, you're kind of right. He would have not been a predator all these years. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's an invasion of privacy? I mean, it's already happened. The law already went through. Just don't break the law. Yeah.